Alright guys, I just finished up at Starbucks working on the computer. Now I'm heading about 30 minutes away. I'm gonna go look at an industrial flex space for sale. It's about $450,000. But I'm interested in it because I don't like the idea of paying rent and losing the money every single month. Even though I kind of looked at it in like after-tax dollars. I'm in a 37% tax bracket, so if the rent's like $3,800 a month or something, after taxes, it's like trying to justify it. But it's saving me some money in taxes because I'll be writing it off through the business. But I would really like to be able to purchase something because then I'd have it as an asset. So if it didn't work out and I didn't want to use it, I could always eventually rent it out. And I have this weird desire to purchase something like that. So maybe this is my segue back into real estate, which ultimately I wanted to get into commercial, but I don't want to use a loan. So I was looking for properties that have been on the market for a long time. This particular one's been on the market for 275 days. So I was thinking maybe if I could figure out a way to lowball cash. The guy's paying insurance, HOA, and he's not renting it. And it's listed for rent and it hasn't been rented. So I have to keep that in mind too if I was going to try to rent it. But I'm not. I'd be using it. Owner use. So just a little fantasy for my little YouTube dreams and car mechanic fantasies. But we're going to go check it out and see what it looks like. I wrote the agent to see if he can meet me there. He's interacting with me back and forth, but I don't know if he's going to be able to meet me there or not. So I'd have to ask myself whether or not taking a loan would be smart. In this environment, I don't think it would be. The rates are still elevated.
In half a mile,
the prices are still high.
Left lane to continue on.
I wouldn't have a whole lot of leverage compared to paying cash with a quick close. And then I have to factor in the opportunity cost of the money. Do I feel like it's safer in this industrial space in the city I live in or in the market? Personally, based on historic PE ratios, the market's pretty elevated and frothy.
Use the second.
I'm not one to time the market, but I'm just saying it might be better suited to be invested in something that's out of favor, which real estate is. I'd say commercial real estate with a loan might not be smart. Stop interrupting me! She keeps interrupting me. No, I was saying that.
Continue on I-75 north for 4 miles.
All right. I was saying that commercial real estate with a loan may not be smart right now. But with paying cash and getting a really good deal, might not be too bad of an idea. Let's just say, for example, this property rents for like $16 to $17 a square foot and it's triple net. So I charge them like $6 a month or something for common area maintenance. If I got the property for like $300,000 and I well, I guess they'd be paying the HOA and everything. All I'm getting at is that it would end up being a decent return. It would definitely be more than 5 or 6% cash on cash return. Probably be more like 9%. I haven't done the math, but I'm just saying if I could get it for a decent price cash and I was going to own or occupy it and it was something that I really loved and it was valuable to me, it'd be worth it. And then I know that I have it. I'm just really diversifying. I don't have any real estate other than my personal home now. So it would just be adding a non-cash flowing asset, but I don't really like that. I like when it produces income. But hey, maybe it would help produce income on the YouTube channel. I don't know. And then if that doesn't work out, something I have that I can rent out. We'll see. I'm just brainstorming ideas for fun. I just hate the idea of paying rent. And I hate the idea of getting a loan with a balloon payment. Like a lot of these commercial loans are like 5 years with a balloon. And the rates are high. I don't know. I don't want to get involved with loans.
In 2 months.
I'd rather keep my risk low and try to diversify the money I have across different asset classes. That's really all I'd be doing. It would just broaden my risk profile rather than having all equities, paper assets. Right now I pretty much have all stocks, you know? So I don't think it's really that dumb of an idea. But the guy's not going to sell it for the numbers I'm thinking in my mind. You know, you always picture in your head you can lowball cash, like the guy's like desperate to sell it. But he did buy it in 2015 or 2014 for like 160,000. So 300,000, he'd double his money in 10 years. It's not that great, but you never know. Could always counter. Like he'd probably counter like 380 or something. We'll see. I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. I'm just gonna go look at it. They don't have any inside pictures of the place. There's another one I found for rent. It's $3,000 a month, but it has 22-foot ceilings and the entire space is air conditioned. The office in the front. See, this looks like a dumb move for me, but I have an e-commerce business. I have an office about 45 minutes south of where I live, and we have about 10 employees that work there. Now, I work remote from the office, and that's why you guys see me going to Starbucks or going to Barnes & Noble or something, or working at different coffee shops. Sometimes the internet sucks. I can't focus. So what I'm looking for is a personal office that basically doubles as car storage. That's really what I'm after. And then it could also be a place that we could work on the cars or come up with a cool project and mess around with it for the channel. Because the channel's kind of like my second little work that I created. So it'd be like just like a fun factory or something. Remember Rob Dyrdek? Fantasy Factory on MTV? The other thing is that they're doing tons of building around this area, tons of development, and there's not a lot of industrial here. There's industrial over by like the more fringe areas that are like the real industrial areas, like in south area part of my town or up near the airport, but there's barely any industrial that's mixed into this like really nice housing development and kind of like countryside of our town. I just drove past the unit. I don't like it. It looks run down. There's like no space behind the building. It looked like you'd have to do a 3-point turn like 2 times to get the car in the shop. But on the way out here, I did see a Cube Smart that says they have climate controlled. It said they had climate controlled indoor car storage. Maybe that'd be the cheaper route. This isn't bad. 10 by 20.
10 by 20.
And it's climate controlled?
Climate control.
Oh, so you guys operate the thermostat?
Yeah, everything is done. It runs through all the top of the...
Oh, nice. So what do you think the temperature stays at? It doesn't get real hot, though.
No. That's what that's why the climate control, the side air conditioning, climate control is basically just take the humidity out of the air.
Oh, okay.
So,
Man, so it just takes the humidity out and keeps it like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Not bad. And then you can just roll up and just switch the cars, I guess.
Yep.
This might be my way to go.
Yep. This one, let's see. Right now, they're running a special. You get the first month free, and you'd also get 40% off.
Okay.
So the rent would be at $291.
$290.
$291.
Oh, okay. How many do you guys have? Do you have a lot or not? And then they also have 10 by 30s. Oh, climate controlled. Man, thanks for showing me all these. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a lot more space. Mm-hmm. So I could store some stuff in here if I needed to. Oh, these are cooler on this side. Yeah. These are cooler.
Maybe because of the back of the building, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
3 is the rate.
$393.
Yeah.
And how long does that last for?
Generally, the rates last for any time up to 3 months.
Oh, and then it goes back to the original?
Yeah, no. All
right, guys, I'm heading out. Well, that's the nicest car storage one I've seen. That one is a little pricey, though, because he said that they give you the promo. So the 10 by 20 garage, it's $280 a month for each one, which, keep in mind, the YouTube channel is making me $800 a month, so the YouTube channel would pay for it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do I pay for my little fantasy?
He said, I think we should
without working extremely hard to do it. So those are climate control, which is nice. They did feel cool. And then he's got the 10 by 30, which he showed me, which is awesome. That's like $300 a month, starting at $390 or something. It's not cheap. And then I thought, oh, I can fit both cars in the one 10 by 30. I thought that's my solution right there. I can fit both cars. And then he told me, he's like, I'd be careful because it's approximate square footage. So I walked it off and it wasn't 30, it was 26. So I'd be cutting it too close. The 992 plus the 997 would give me 11 inches remaining with a 30-foot garage, and the BMW E30 with the 992 would give me 14 inches in the 30-foot garage. And then the 992 or the 993 and the E30 together would fit. Probably no problem, even with the not being accurate 30-foot. But the only issue is that once you, after the promo, which he said they start to chip away at it, and then eventually after like a year, you're back at the regular rate, which would be like freaking, for the bigger garage would be $1,200 a month, and for the smaller garage would be $800 a month. So the YouTube channel could still pay for that, but it seems a little excessive. And this place is pretty far from where I live, actually. I'm only up here to look at that. But I thought it'd give me a reason to drive the cars. So I'm gonna go look at one more property on the way back, a rental, not one to buy, just a rental, because it just seems silly for me to pay that much. When you get up to like almost $1,000 a month, I feel like I could find a flex space. Not for that much, but something that's got a little bit of a warehousey space in the back and an office in the front, and I could really use it. I like this area. They got a 911 out here. I really like this spot. I just went and looked at one. I just randomly drove up to one that said for lease and just wrote the guy to see what the rate is. I can't find it online. The only issue is this damn massive hill getting in and out of here. This would be a nightmare. Actually, I guess it's not too bad. I'm not gonna put the front axle lift up and see how bad it is. Oof. No, that's pretty bad, dude. That could become a nightmare. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's a pretty steep incline. It doesn't look that bad, I'm telling you. It is. But that unit looked cool. I looked in the window. It looked like it was just a big open garage. It looked nice, air conditioned with a bathroom. Let's go down here. I'm just basically cruising around this industrial area to see if there's anything for lease. I'm short on time though. I gotta head back soon. Well,
at the next light, turn left.
I don't know. I'm not feeling anything. The more I look at places, the more I'm thinking I should try to buy land and build a little, like a land that would allow you to have, I don't know what the zoning would have to be to allow you to build like a little shop or garage on it. Something like that might be more realistic. And then when my kids get older, they can inherit it, build their houses or something. I think a little house on the prairie. I think I'm just gonna keep things simple and go with the original storage unit that I found. That's like $80 for a unit. That's what I'm doing. Keep things simple and easy and inexpensive. My main concern with the storage unit was like humidity and the heat. But I gotta be honest, with the not the one I just went and visited, the one I'm talking about that's closer to me. The storage unit, the back opposing wall is another storage unit, and then the ceiling's insulated. So the only real exposure is the front roll-up door. But that other one I just saw has the same exact door. And then also it's facing north, which is good in Florida. So I actually think, to be honest, the storage unit that I'm concerned about the heat is probably cooler than my home garage. My home garage gets hot as hell. Really hot in the summer. So we have isonine in the ceiling, the spray foam in the attic, but like the front and the back wall of my home is cinder block, which is better than wood, but it's still, you know, there's no insulation. The garage door is insulated. So I imagine that the storage unit probably is the same temperature, if not cooler, than my home garage. So I think I'm just keeping things simple. You see, I was driving, I was thinking to myself, why am I dealing with all these hectic problems I'm making? And I thought, dude, just keep everything simple. But it sucks because it's like, on one hand, you gotta love the cars and you want to love them and do all this stuff, but on the other hand, it becomes a nuisance. You know, it's like first world problems. But I'm just saying that sometimes it does become, unless you get it organized. That's why I thought having my own industrial space could be great. But then I started thinking about it. I'm gonna have to, if I rent, I'm gonna have to have general liability insurance policy. I don't know. I already have that with my business. I could probably add on another address. But the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, this is overkill. I'm gonna have another Comcast or Xfinity bill for internet, so I can have cameras in there. It's overkill. Probably be better off just getting the damn car stacker in my own garage at home. But I'm still short one garage. I'm still short one pad. It wouldn't work. I'm still short one car, even if I do that. That's the whole reason I started looking at the storage units. You know, if you're going to store a car like this, you don't want to leave it just anywhere. You know what I mean? Like when I just come in here and look at this thing sitting here, I'm like, it's hard to It's hard to put this thing in the damn storage unit. You know what I mean? Maybe I gotta get an industrial space. Dude, it's hot as hell in here. It's hotter in here than that storage unit was, that's for sure. All right, guys, back on the streets on the golf cart. I got a box cutter in my pocket, and I'm staying busy. I was just cutting up boxes, and I realized, holy crap, I realized what time it was. Like, I'm late. I am running late. All right, back at the house. Dude, it is hot as balls out here. You forget how Florida heat builds up and just is next level. I'm actually putting the Porsche, because I got the Porsche sitting outside collecting dust. I'm putting it inside the other garage where my son's car goes. Oh! Oh my gosh! It is so hot, dude. So you can't leave these things out here. The truck's sitting outside. I might sell the truck. I love it. Oh, the turbos are sounding nice and saucy. This thing is too hot. Feels like the windshield's gonna crack. If this wasn't a gym garage, I would put a lift in here and have a lift in the other one. I thought about putting my wife's car in here. If you guys watched the channel for a long time, you've seen me do this before. You guys remember. So one of you guys left a comment that the golf cart was actually in the other garage, and one of you guys said, put the golf cart in this garage, and then with the Porsche, and then put your 993 in the. Oh no! I had the 993. This was in this garage. You guys said put this in that garage and put the 993 in here, which I did. Which back then it was just this and the 993 that I had. But my son didn't have a car. He didn't drive yet. So now that he drives, he's in the garage because he has an E30 with paper thin glass and really bad AC. The E30s and even the 993, they got to be in the garage, dude, because all the cars I want in the garage. It's just too damn hot out here. But the truck is sitting outside. It's under a tree, but still. I'm just getting the damn storage units. I don't even care. It's the solution to my problem. I won't have to play musical chairs every time I want to drive a car. I could just cruise. I go to Starbucks. I might say, I'm going to swing over to the storage garage and swap the cars. Open up the roll-up door, pull one out, put this in, hop in that, and just head on my way. And come home, and then it's nice and spacious here. I got spots. You know what I mean? Only one car's here at a time. I think that's my solution. Rather than making our garages super tight with the car stackers and raising one up and worry about if I come in and it's a hot day and then I pull it. Well, I guess I'd pull it underneath the one, but if I raised it up, I could have like AC condensation dripping down on the other car, or I don't know. I know I'm overthinking it. Some people said put the golf cart outside, but the issue with that is, dude, I'm sweating like crazy, is that this thing, it rusts pretty easily, and it got so grimy because it's all exposed. So I bought the cover for it, and I had this outside with a cover, and we have to pretty much charge this thing every other time we drive it. So that became a little bit of a pain, running the extension cord outside, pulling it up to the house, then I got to move it because someone had to get out of this garage with their car. I'm just thinking out loud. Most people wouldn't even be sharing all this stuff. I'm just saying it for fun. Just showing you guys what I'm up to. Guys, solo at the house. And I'm making the kids dinner. Guys, now it's baby bath time. If you're wondering where my wife is, she's running because she's training for a marathon. So she does her work. I do my workouts in the morning, or she does them in the morning. Today she couldn't. She didn't get any sleep because she was up with the baby all night. So she's doing hers now. So we help each other out like that. But I gotta hurry because I gotta go to basketball. All right, guys, we're hopping the 911. We're going to basketball. Oh! I'm just updating the little clips for the video. He said no one cares. I know, that's why I keep making the videos. All right. We're back out, and you gotta close the garage door. have a garage door opener in this car, so he's gonna close the garage door for me. All right, you're good to go. See if you can make it. Oh yeah. What is up, guys? You can't see me, but I'm in the garage. It's early in the morning. Everybody's asleep. I was gonna take the 993, but I'm in a little bit of a rush. So we're gonna take the 992. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Ooh! Alright.